Good Saturday morning to you. Looks like it's all sunny outside this morning. I hope you've had a good week. Hope you've had a good month. It's only day 4 of March, right? So it's always like another new beginning all the time. It's like every new month is a new chance, right? I don't know. Anyway, I hope you're morning, afternoon, evening. I know on Saturdays, we all want to sleep in a little bit longer, right? I also do the video a little bit later on Saturdays, but a lot of people who don't work on Saturday, I don't know who that is, but some people don't actually work on Saturday, and so they actually get to sleep in a little bit, so they'll maybe catch it later or whatever. That's the cool thing is if you miss it, you don't miss it. You can always catch it later, right? Whenever it's convenient for you, you can catch it here. Don't forget, I always upload them to my YouTube channel, and I'm working on some new videos to go over there too. So I'm working on several different projects actually. So anyway, we'll see how they all unfold. They certainly didn't, this year has not unfolded like my plan was, right? But you know what? I got a bigger plan. So I don't have to worry about that kind of stuff. I don't, because God's plan is gonna carry me through, right? So my plan is at this point to just pursue him, just follow God, just listen to what he says and read his word and get to know him better. And then, if we fellowship with him, then those things that he wants, that he desires for us will begin to just unfold, right? And so this morning, um, I kind of started reading a weird place this morning because I got a couple of topics in my mind I'm just wanting to learn about for myself personally. So I started in Proverbs. And this is one of the cool things about the Bible is you can find something for wherever you are in your life. You can find something that can minister to you right where you are, answer your questions where you are. If you need encouragement, you can read Psalms. Psalms are good because there's just so much encouragement. There's so much. The Lord is my shepherd; I shall not want. We just take those words to heart, right? And so the Psalms are really good if you need comfort. Proverbs is good if you're looking for wisdom. Now, with that being said, don't forget Proverbs 2:6 and James 1 both say if we need wisdom, all we have to do is ask God and just say, God, we need wisdom, and then out of His mouth comes knowledge and understanding. And so, but if I'm wanting to learn some things, I'm thinking about, I got a couple of ideas working on Proverbs, actually, is what I'm doing. So I'm thinking about those. And I started reading Proverbs this morning. But if you want to learn about the gospel and Jesus and all he did, you've got Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John to all read. If you want to learn about the new church, and the miraculous things that were going on during that time, and just learn about how the church grew, read Acts. If you want to learn how to live your daily life as a Christian, read the epistles by Paul, James, Peter, all these guys, Um, and so there's just a little bit of everything, and so you can just read it all the way through. Just learn about the law because the law wasn't done away with. We just don't have to go by it because Jesus fulfilled it. But the intent of those laws still shows us God's heart. Don't defraud your neighbor. Why would you want to? Right? Don't cheat on your spouse. Why would you want to? Right? Yeah, don't lie to one another. Don't cheat. There's one that says don't use a different balance. Do things fairly. Do have a just weight, it says. And so there's so many things to learn even out of the law that many New Testament churches kind of throw it away and go, well, it's Old Testament. I like the Old Testament because it lets me understand more about the character of God. It lets me understand more about what he likes and what he doesn't like. And that brings me to what I want to talk about today, because I'm not worried about what he likes and dislikes because I think he's going to smash me if I mess up, which he could, but he's not going to, right? But when I learn, if I meet somebody new, I'm a conversationalist. I'll talk to a wall. It doesn't talk back. It's really boring. It's only one-sided. But I'll talk to a wall. I'm a conversationalist. I found out that the last dude that did the X-ray of Chris, was that just yesterday? That was just yesterday. Whew, my days are full. He came to do an X-ray for Chris, and he has a coffee site, and he has all this. I know all these things about people when they leave. The last guy that came has rent houses, and and he's buying up this, and he's doing this, and he's running 2 or 3 businesses, and I'm just a conversationalist, right? And so I'm going to. I don't have any idea why I talked about that. I just talk. Maybe I just like to hear myself talk. I don't know. Anyway, oh, when I get to know, when I meet you, I'm going to start asking questions. Why? Because I want to get to know you, right? I'm going to ask you, what kind of work do you do? Are you retired? What would that be? Yeah. Well, what kind of work do you do? What kind of things do you like to do? What do you do in your free time? I don't know what that is either. What kind of movies do you like to watch? What kind of books do you like to read? We learn about one another by asking questions and just getting all involved in conversations, right? And it's no different with God. So I can look at the Old Testament and learn so much about him. I can learn so much about his character. I can learn so much about what he really likes and what he really doesn't like, and those kind of things. And it's not so that I can draw lines and go, okay, I got to live in this little bubble or God's going to be mad. No, it's because I learn who he is, and the more I know about him, the more I'm going to feel, what's the right word, free to just let him walk through my soul, walk through my heart, right? And so that brings me to Proverbs 1:7, and it says this. Solomon's writing this one, is writing Proverbs, and he says the first 6 verses here he says, here's why I'm writing this, so that we can all learn wisdom, so that we can understand, to a wise man will hear and increase learning, so we can become wise, and we can be wise in our dealings, and we can just handle life better, and we can live better lives basically because of wisdom, right? And he said, I want you to learn, just increase learning, have understanding, have wise counsel. That's why I'm writing Proverbs. And then in verse 7 he says, well, he didn't call it Proverbs because it wasn't called Proverbs back then. It is a book of Proverbs, right? Anyway, in verse 7 he says, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. And this is not a fear of the Lord, like I said a while ago, that if we step across that line, he's going to smash us with the heavenly ball bat, like it's going to squish us like a bug, or he's going to fry us down to our toenails if we say the wrong thing at the wrong moment. It's not that. The fear of the Lord is just knowing who he is and reverencing who he is. I'm not afraid. I know the Queen of England passed last year, but I'm not afraid of the Queen of England. But there's some certain protocols I'm going to adhere to if I go, see her. They're fixing to, they're going to have the big coronation of the king, right, coming up here. I think this year. It's got to be this year sometime, right? And I saw they were preparing a really old throne. They were restoring it, so that's kind of a cool story. But anyway, and there's certain protocol. You do certain things, but I'm not afraid. I'm not scared they're gonna take me out to the gallows and hang me, or take me out to the firing squad and shoot me if I mess up, right? I'm not that kind of fear, but there's a reverence, there's a respect. And we want to respect God. We want to fear, we want to revere him in the sense of just going, God, I know you're God. And God, I know you're out there. And sometimes, to be honest, I don't see him working in my little everyday today life, but I know he's there. And I can respect the truth that God exists, that God created this world, that he created me, and he put me right here, right? Why? I don't know. Maybe just to pick on you. Anyway, but that takes me to Hebrews, because it says this. Hebrews 11:6 says this. Um, Without faith, it is impossible to please him. But that's not a scary statement. Don't run off with that and go, oh my goodness, I don't know if I have enough faith. Maybe I can't please God. No, that's where my mind goes. It says, for he who comes to God must believe that he is. That's faith, you guys. Faith isn't complicated. Faith is actually very simple. Those who come to God must believe that he is, and that he's a rewarder of those who diligently seek after him. And we've talked about when we seek God, he lets us find him. So he rewards us with his presence, with his power, with his provision, right? He rewards us in that sense. But he just knowing that God is out there takes faith. We see the things God made, and we draw that connection in our mind and say, I know God exists. That's faith. So don't let somebody tell you you don't have faith because you're not doing a certain thing right, or you're not performing certain miracles right, or you're not doing this or that. There's no criteria. It just says without faith we can't please him, and we have to know that he is. To even pray to God takes faith, even though we don't think about it all the time, right? And that ties back into Proverbs in the sense of the fear of the Lord is, first of all, believing, having the faith to believe that he is just there, right? Because if we don't believe that God is there, we can't believe he gave us peace. If we don't believe God is there, we can't believe he gives us grace. He sustains us with his grace. If we don't believe he's even out there, we can't believe that he has given us his mercies are new every morning for us. Not for him. He doesn't have a morning. We have morning. He created new mercies. Every creates new mercies for us on our mornings, for our mornings, because he doesn't have mornings. He doesn't measure time like us, and he doesn't have daytime and nighttime, right? So he did it just for us. But we first all of that, believing all of those powerful things there, starts with just knowing he's out there. Just knowing that he has his eye on us, on me, on you. And with that little bit of faith, we can reach into to today. We can know he gave us peace. We can know we've got new mercies for today. Whatever you're facing today, his mercies are there for you. His mercies are new every morning. His grace is sufficient for today. That is faith. That's the very root of faith. Believing that he's out there, believing that everything in this Bible that he said we have is true. He really loves us. He gives us grace, mercy, peace. He's our provider. He's our healer. He strengthens us from the inside out. And sometimes, if you think about it, we can't physically see God. A word I learned in Bible college was empirical. I loved that term. I thought it was cool. Empirical means you can sense it with the five senses. You can either taste it, feel it, hear it, right? And so um, and see it. Did I say see it? Anyway, so we can't empirically prove God is there, but it's that faith that says he is there. Just the fact that you know God is there is faith. Don't let anybody tell you you don't have faith, right? And so when we know he's there, we also can't really feel empirically prove peace, but our heart can say, yeah, I can have peace because God said he gave me his peace. Jesus said, I'm leaving my peace here. We believe that by faith. It's all based on faith. We believe that. We read the scripture, his mercies are new every morning. And when we believe that, it's faith. When we have faith, we know he's out there. But we can't believe his mercies are new every morning if we don't believe he's out there. Out there. He's here. He's not just out there. God is omnipresent. He is everywhere. He doesn't have the capacity to leave you because he can't go somewhere that he's not already there. Not supposed to end with a sentence with a preposition, but oh well. Anyway, is there a preposition? I think it's an adverb. I don't know. Anyway, my Aunt Mary will fix it for me. She'll correct it. Anyway, she'll send me a text and tell me what it is. Anyway, I taught math. Okay. Anyway, and so faith is not as complicated as religion has tried to make it. We first just believe that God is there. We reverence him just because he's God. It's not a fear of he's going to strike me with lightning. It's a reverence for you're the king. Tell me what to do. I want to be in that. It goes back to that relationship. I want to know what you like and what you don't like, not because I'm scared you're going to wipe me off the face of the earth, but just because I want to know your preferences. I want to know. I don't want to do something on purpose that you don't like. Maybe you don't like coffee. We can't be friends. No, but I want to. If you don't like coffee, then I don't want to offer you coffee. I want to offer you tea. I've got lots of tea. Or maybe I want to offer you a Coke, or I want to offer you what you like, just because I respect you as a person. And that's a real small parallel there because we just want to do what pleases God. We want to do what he likes. That's being fair to others. That's loving others. That's letting peace reign in our heart. That means we're walking through life doing good to others and acting like God would have us act the way he acts towards us with love, mercy, grace, right? I hope I said something that made sense this morning. Anyway, I hope you have a good weekend. I hope that you know that you do have faith. If you're watching this, you're still reaching for God. That's faith. That is faith. And it's the very beginning of knowledge to, first of all, know that he's there. Just know that he's God. That's the fear of the Lord. That's where it all starts. And he's going to grow his word in you. He's going to grow that peace in you. That grace is going to, well, it says, Peter says, he prays that you'll multiply in peace and grace. Grace and peace be multiplied to you so we can grow in those things. We can grow in grace. We can grow in our knowledge of God. And that just means we have more peace, right? We can let it rain even easier, and we get better at letting his peace reign. We get better at seeking his grace. We get better at realizing and reminding quicker at reminding ourselves that his mercy has me, his grace has me. It's going to be a great day because I've got his peace, because God is not only out there, he's right here. That's faith, you guys. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. I'll see you bright and early on Monday morning.